tell you my problems, meditating my silence. But I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, now no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls go
All right, you guys, so next story up. This John Amos story is confusing to me because I don't follow John Amos, but I see him occasionally on social media. You know, they would post videos of him and his son, KC. KC, I had assumed, was either very close to his dad or was caretaker for his dad. You know, they would post videos and, you know, everybody would say, God, you look just like your dad. And they, you know, they would be smiling. They'd be out somewhere. And I mean, I thought that was, you know, I thought that was cool to see a son and their father who's elderly, you know, still enjoying life together. Well, it turns out that, I don't know who to believe. So John Amos has two kids, Casey and Shannon. Shannon is his daughter. Apparently, Casey is the caretaker of John Amos. I guess that's the way that they had decided it was going to be in their family. Shannon came out with a story saying that John Amos was being abused, was accusing his caretaker of elderly abuse. She said that they are burning through his money, you know, financial abuse, elder abuse, not taking care of him, not feeding him, the house and, you know, filthy, living in squalor, like all of that. Now, she never said that her brother was the one that was abusing him. What she said was it was his caretaker. Well, the caretaker is the brother. Okay. So she decided to start a GoFundMe. Apparently, she had been out of the country or she had been on a trip. And when she returned home, she found out that her father was in the hospital in the ICU fighting for his life. Okay. And so she decided to get a GoFundMe together, was trying to raise $500,000 so that she could take care of the issues that her father was facing. Well, apparently this surprised John Amos, the father, because he felt like he was fine, that he was not being elderly abused, and he didn't know where Shannon was coming from. Now, there ended up being a video. I've heard all kind of other stories about the son. I don't know if they are or not true, but I've heard stories about him being on drugs, and I've heard stories about him, you know, being really mean to his dad. And I've heard stories of him, like the videos of him and John Amos. It almost looks like he's like always over him, kind of like making John Amos feel like he's got to be a certain way with Casey when that maybe is not the way that he really feels, that he even wants to be with his son. I've heard a whole bunch of stuff about him. I don't know if they're true or not. Okay. But what I do know is there is a video that John Amos ended up putting out, or his son, of him. He is in the hospital. This is on a second visit. So this is not the visit that when his daughter was saying that he was in ICU fighting for his life. But he was back in the hospital because there was some other issues that had turned up. Nothing that was life-threatening. It had to do with him retaining water and all that. Okay. So John Amos is saying in his own voice, so you can hear him actually talking, saying that, yeah, he's in his right mind. You can hear him. He talks very clearly, very eloquently. The man his mind is not gone. Okay. His health is declining, but his mind is still there. So he's talking, he's saying on the phone, apparently he's talking to a lawyer, and he's telling them how he's in his right mind. He's doing what he wants to do. He doesn't feel abused by his son. If anybody was going to be considered the abuser, it would actually be his daughter, Shannon. Okay. He called her the likely suspect, but then he said, I don't know if that's the correct word. I don't know if that's the correct word either, because suspect means that that person has done something to you. And I don't know what Shannon has even done. What it sounds like is there's a lot of money there was a good amount of money that was at hand, and, you know, maybe these kids, Casey or Shannon, you know, maybe they might be fighting over who has their hand in the pot there, which is sad. It's sad to see when there is an elderly person who does have money. It is sad to know that their own children would take advantage of them that way. But it happens. It happens. So that's not something that, that's something that we cannot ignore. So John Amos does have a spokesperson. Her name is Belinda Foster. And she said that it was ridiculous for the daughter to even come out originally and say that he was fighting for his life. She said that he never was fighting for his life. He was ill. He went into the hospital. They corrected whatever the issue was and that he was out. So just the daughter assuming that, or saying that, he was fighting for her life, they were like she was misleading people and that she was trying to get this $500,000. Now, they did take down the GoFundMe, but, now people are trying to figure out I'm just thinking like there is nobody else besides John Amos's kids that can get involved in this. I guess they would be considered next of kin if he doesn't have a wife. But it sounds like we need to, child, I don't know what's going to happen there because, well, I think that what needs to happen is if he got a good close friend that can get him away from all the kids and he could just have a conversation with somebody and just truly say exactly what is happening, then they can go by that. Because like I said, the man is still very lucid. He's not senile. Doesn't sound like there's any type of dementia or anything there, and he's 83 years old. So maybe that they can get him away from all of the kids and that way that he can talk freely. And maybe we need to get together and get some living trust and some shit written up, to at least be sure of whatever happens once he is unfortunately not here anymore, because if they having all this drama, them kids gonna burn. When I tell you they gonna, if there's any money left after he's gone, they gonna fuck that money off so tough, so maybe we need to get shit in writing because I just don't know. But part of me feels like maybe both of the kids ain't really doing what they supposed to do, and maybe they both need to be looked at closer, but John Amos seems to be most comfortable with his son. Okay. And like I said, I don't follow them, so I don't know if the daughter was ever around anyway. The daughter may have or may not have been around, and maybe she's just now resurfacing now and causing all this. I don't know, you guys. If y'all know anything more on that story, feel free to put it down there. Let me know who you believe. Do you believe the daughter? Because the daughter blames the caretaker, which is the brother. She just didn't want to say the name. And then the brother and John Amos is blaming the daughter. I mean, if he is saying it out of his mouth, then do we need to be looking at the daughter? Or is it both of them? Y'all let me know what you think. And if you know any more about it, leave it all below.
All the fake fans gon' pile up. I need peace to borrow. Get that shit right back tomorrow. Somehow all
right, you guys, next story up. So, your boy Neo. God, I feel like I talk about Neo all the time. Mama named him Schaefer Smith. Is that his last name, you guys? I think so. Yes. Newest story about Neo is that he owes $3 million in back taxes. Over $3 million. Actually, the exact number is whoopsie. I didn't know I knocked you guys down like that there. Anyway, the actual number is $3,166,811.68 for unpaid taxes in 2020. Okay. Not only was he hit with that lien from the feds, but him and his wife, they were also served a lawsuit from a construction company that did some work on their home in Alpharetta, Georgia. Okay. So they got some legal shit. Also, they owe like $4,000. How you owe $3 million and something to the federal to IRS, and then you only owe $4,000 to the state? You see, I'm telling you, the IRS is some fucking gangsters. Y'all had to take all them people back like that, $3 million, but then the state only get $4,000. Anyway, y'all hear Blue barking like crazy. The mail lady just left me a package up on my stairs. Anyway, we just recently saw a picture of Crystal Renee and Neo in pictures together for promotion for a new restaurant that they opened. So, apparently they have a franchise. They have a chain of restaurants called Johnny's Chicken and Waffles. And there was a new one opening here in Midtown Atlanta. And so they were both there for the promo, the red carpet, all of that. Crystal looked like she was so uncomfortable. And I was looking at that and I was like, she must have had an obligation. If you guys own this business together, you have obligated yourself to make sure that you promote the place and all. So I'm sure she had to show up there. She looked like she ain't want to be there. Then they had her standing right next to Neil. He just smiling. And she was just standing over there just sort of like, hurry up and take the picture. Yeah, they say that Neo owes $3 million and some change to the feds, and I'm sure I'm sure he has it. But Neo got a lot of things that he got to pay for these days, child. They had the divorce, and he's trying to get his whole child custody. Well, he's trying to make sure that all of these kids that they say is his, and he's gonna have to pay for all these kids he got and all of that. And so yeah, he's got a lot going on. But IRS said, fuck you, pay me. Come on, Schaefer. Come on off of them $3 million.
Let's go Bravo, smile so much to hide my sorrows. Faith is shaky and vibrato.
All right, you guys, next story up, you guys. Monique Samuels and Chris Samuels. I was so confused earlier this week when everybody was inboxing me on Instagram and saying, look, Monique and Chris are getting a divorce. And I was just like, look, we found out that they were getting a divorce back when Love and Marriage DC was coming back for season 2 and they weren't on there. That was when we found out that they were getting a divorce. I guess everybody forgot. But yes, it was in People magazine back in October of last year that these two were getting a divorce. Yes, I know that Monique did try to say that she didn't say that, tried to pull the story back, even threatened to sue who might have leaked a story like that when it wasn't true. But I always believed that it was. The fact that they didn't go back to Love and Marriage DC let me know that their problems had gotten so big that they couldn't even stand to record, together any longer. And I knew that they were getting a divorce back then. So yeah, Monique can pull back and threaten and be mad and disgusted and all of that all she wants. Because you guys remember, this story came out right when BravoCon was happening. And so she was trying to say that, was it BravoCon? I think it was BravoCon. So she was trying to say that, people were just trying to use her name and tie it with BravoCon and all of that. But no, I was very clear that they were getting a divorce. It's funny because maybe about 2 weeks ago, I had saw a picture of Chris that had came across like my Explorer page or something. And it was a picture of him, and he was super thin. And I was just like, oh my God. And then his post, he was talking about how he had been depressed, but now he's getting back on the good foot. And he's getting himself back together and all. And now when I see the pictures of him, he looks better. Like, he was really, really thin on the picture that I had saw, but he looks like he might have put some of that weight back on, or maybe he's gained it back in some muscle. But now he looks better. But that picture that I saw him, he looked very sickly. So he said that he was going through a depression. And we kind of heard him talk about him having depression issues even on Love and Marriage. So that part wasn't surprising. What's really sad is that I mean, you guys know the writing was on the wall for Chris and Monique. I mean, some will say even back when they were on Real Housewives of Potomac, okay, the story had come out that Monique had been messing around with her trainer. You guys remember all of that shit that happened. And that Monique wasn't really happy with Chris back then. I don't think that Monique has been happy. She hasn't felt like he's given her what she's needed to sustain this relationship. And listen, if you're not happy in a relationship and you guys have made it to 10 years and you still not happy, okay, I'm not saying that needs to be a divorce, but I mean, I'm not saying obviously that you need to get a divorce because, relationships and marriages are work and everything. But if you just have remained unhappy for many, 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 many years, sometimes it's time to just throw in the towel. Okay. Or you can fight, and you can try to work through, if they could have got past maybe 14, maybe they might have made. Woo, shit. But yeah, I wasn't surprised at all, and I just couldn't understand why everybody was so shocked. It was just like, what wasn't we all watching the same damn show? This girl Ben said she can't stand this nigga, and then all of the stuff that has happened between the two of them. Like, I know one thing though. I know one thing is Mother Samuels. I'm sure she is very, very happy about this. Okay, I beg your partner. I remember. Woo, I would love to see what Mama Samuels got to say about it, because honey, she ain't never saw it for Monique. So yeah, now the sad part is this is a family and they have 3 kids together, and of course now we have kids that have to live between their mom and their dad, and that's not an ideal situation, but I mean that doesn't doom the kids. People still successfully raise their children in a co-parenting type situation away from each other. Sometimes it's sometimes it's healthier for parents. If they fighting and shit all the time, it's healthier for your kids to actually see you guys getting along but not together. If we got to be apart from each other, but then we get along, that's probably better than us staying together and us fighting like fucking cats and dogs all the time. Yes, it's important to have both of your parents in the house together, but sometimes it just doesn't work that way, you guys. And so, maybe this is going to be the best thing for the Samuels. And they're both going to be fine. Chris is going to be very fine. Okay. Because I know there's going to be a woman out there to snatch his ass up, honey, because Chris has a lot of money and he is one of them country good old boys that, he's got like country values and stuff. So there's a woman out there that would love to have a Chris Samuels in their life. And Monique is going to be fine because Monique is, I'm not going to say that Monique is a horrible person, but I think Monique is just specific in the things that she wants. And there's a man out there that maybe will give that to her. And maybe it wasn't Chris. Not maybe, it wasn't, because they're not going to be together no more, But divorces are sad, but sometimes they just have to happen. The same with Tia Mowry and Corey Hardrick. You guys saw that their divorce was finally finalized. And it's funny because everybody is going on and on like, oh, she got to keep the house, and oh, she got to do this, and oh, she ain't got to pay child support. And I was just like, I don't think he was asking for any of that. I don't even think that Corey Hardrick was really asking for anything. I think they were making sure that they, so they don't have any kind of custody agreement. They're going to jointly raise their children, and I guess they're going to come up with whatever schedule works best between them. I don't think that they hate each other. I actually don't even think Corey wanted to get the divorce. I think he went on and let it happen. I mean, there's nothing you can do. If somebody don't want to be with you, they don't want to be with you. But I think that he didn't fight or anything because Tia was very clearly done. Okay. She posted many, 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 many times about her being done, So, I think that people just automatically think that there needs to be a bad guy and a good guy in a divorce, and it doesn't really have to happen that way either. Sometimes it's just not working no more, and you don't seem to be happy with me, so I'm just gonna be like, okay, then we don't have to be together, you know. And I think that's kind of what happened there, you know, because Corey they tried to say that he cheated. He was like, that's bullshit, and nobody out there can say that I did, you know. Basically show some receipts if you think that that's what the problem was here. And I don't think that Tia even said that he cheated or anything like that. It was just it seemed like it was a case of either growing apart or Corey, maybe Tia feeling like Corey had checked out. Okay. He just always been so calm and mild-mannered and quiet. You know, you don't never even really know what was going on there. But yeah, I don't think that he was trying to get the house and all that. She bought that house apparently before they were even married or something. So it was her home. So they gave her home. You know, that's her place, her home. So anyway, yeah, between Monique and Chris, we'll see how that divorce goes. Monique, I will say, Monique is not broke. She has her own money, but she ain't got Chris money. So we'll see what happens. They do have three very young children. So, you know, we got to figure out child support, spousal support, because she doesn't have an income. She has her Not for Lazy Moms. Is that what it was called? So I'm sure she's got her hair oils and stuff, but I don't know if the hair oils and her podcast is going to take care of, you know, all of the bills and stuff. So, yeah, that's where we'll see what happens there. But yeah, he's not following Monique anymore, and he's moved on with his life, and he says that he's concentrating on his health, his mental health, his physical health. He looks good. He's lost his weight, but he looks like he's, you know, looking muscular, like he's doing it the right way. That's it. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, you guys, both Chris and Monique, they will be free people soon. Y'all can you can shoot your shot.
Frown too long. I can't stay down too long.
All right, you guys, next story up. So this is a follow-up story as well, one of many that will be coming down the pike. Remember I told you guys that Megan Good is now the romantic interest to Jonathan Majors. We found out recently that these two had been dating for a minute there, and I was like, oh, I wonder if she was the said mystery woman that was texting Jonathan when Jonathan was supposedly in the taxi with his girlfriend back then, who tried to reach for the phone and ended up getting choked out because of it. You know, I'm wondering if Megan was that person. It could or couldn't be, you know, but it looks like these two are really making a go of this relationship. We saw them on vacation together. I think they were in Milan, or were they in Greece? They were on vacation just last week or two. I saw pictures of them on vacation. And then, honey, he had to be in court on Tuesday. And they arrived there shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand. She is supporting her man silently, but just her presence is powerful, you know, for us to see Megan Good up there with Jonathan Majors. And I like Megan, so I'm hoping that she knows what she's doing. Okay. And I'm hoping that the rumors that we've heard about Jonathan Majors aren't true. Of course, you are innocent until proven guilty. And I even have to remind myself to think that way because, you know, the way that the world is set up today, you know, folks immediately want to say somebody is guilty just because the story came down, you know. But, you know, we can't also ignore that there are rumors about Jonathan Majors, the people saying that, you know, his days at Yale and, you know, he apparently is quite known on them New York streets for, you know, laying down the fist if he has to. So, and if that's true, I surely hope that Megan Good don't get caught up in none of that because we love Megan and I don't want to see her going through nothing like that. He would be a fool to do something like that. And Megan is a star. We know who she is, you know, so play if you want to, because I'm sure she could come right out and say if, you know, he had did something to her in that way. But yeah, she was there and she was supporting. They were in court just for 3 minutes, they said. It was long enough for him to get the court date set for August 3rd. His lawyer, what's her name? Or is it a woman? Priya. I think it's Priya. I'm sorry, you guys. My allergies. I'm sorry, you guys. But anyway, his lawyer said that contrary to what the paperwork says, Jonathan Majors is actually the victim, and the woman who supposedly is the alleged victim was the one who abused Jonathan Majors. Apparently, when he was arrested, his shirt was torn up and he had some scratches and shit. And so they're trying to say that the woman is actually the person who attacked Jonathan Majors. Now, Jonathan Majors is a very big, strong, strapping young man. But that doesn't mean that he just uses his strength and his size to beat up on women. But what I'm saying is, my mama always told me, don't hit a motherfucker. I don't care if it's a man or a woman, and you better expect to hit back. So I ain't really trying to swing on Jonathan Majors, because baby, I do not listen. Keep the distance. Okay, I don't need nobody like a Jonathan Majors trying to hit me or anything like that. So, but I mean, that could very well be the story as well. The girl could have, just thought that she could do that to him and nothing would happen. So I guess we'll see. That the lawyer is pressing for this case to happen soon, and I know that because Jonathan Majors is losing money every day while this case is still looms and lingers, right? So they're like, no, we want this shit to happen soon so we can get it done. And so far, Marvel hasn't dropped him. He's been dropped from a lot of things, but I've been paying attention to that Marvel story to see. And so far, I think that Marvel is trying to wait and see. So that's why they're requesting, a very soon court date. They say August 3rd is the day that his court case starts. And if we can get a not guilty out of this, then maybe people will be willing to place him back in the jobs that he lost, or maybe he'll be able to get more of his jobs that are coming in the future. And of course, he don't want to go to jail. I mean, this is misdemeanor charges. He only faces a year in jail, but I'm telling you, even a year in jail sounds impossible to me. I just can't even imagine a fucking year in jail. Sounds like 10 years, sounds like 100 years to me. I don't want to do a day in fucking jail, and especially not out here in Atlanta, Georgia, honey. I live in Fulton County, and they talking about bed bugs eating the damn people in jail alive. They had a guy recently die, and he died from being eaten by bed bugs. They showed the fucking cell. If you guys could have saw it on TV, I'm telling you, I was so disgusted. I can't imagine. Yes, these people are in jail, and they've done something illegal, but some people are in jail for nonviolent offenses. And they gotta die like that, eaten by bed. Absolutely not. So no, we're gonna try to do everything that we supposed to do in Atlanta, Georgia, honey. Don't fuck around out here, and definitely don't do it in Atlanta, because Atlanta is Fulton, okay? But Jonathan Majors, he'll be in court on August 3rd, and I'm sure I'll be talking about the case then. We'll see how long this relationship with him and Megan Good lasts. Do you guys believe that it's a real relationship, or do you think that she's there just to make him look better? You guys let me know.
Running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes.
All right, you guys, next story up. So they say that your boy Chris Paul was traded from the Phoenix Suns as he was on a plane ride with his wife going to New York to do an interview promoting his book on Good Morning America. Okay, he said that he was on the plane and he got a text message from his son that said, his 14-year-old son, that said that he had been traded. Apparently there was a 3-way trade deal with what was the team? I can't even think of the team and the people, you guys. But anyway, he got caught up in that trade, and now he doesn't play for Phoenix Suns anymore. And we don't really know where Chris Paul is going to play next season. Okay, but the key word here is he ain't playing for Phoenix no more. So he's been with Phoenix for the last 3 years. He is a 12-time All-Star player. I mean, Chris Paul is, he's kind of he's part of that generation of basketball players that I used to watch. I don't really watch these kids as much as I used to watch back when Kobe and Shaq and all them was playing, and Chris Paul came in on the latter end of that. So, and we like Chris Paul. We had him in the Clippers, and then we thought we've been trying to get that boy to the Lakers. They've been trying it, and it just hasn't worked out for whatever reason. So, I mean, like I said, we don't know where he's going to end up, but we'll see. But anyway, Chris Paul has written this book. It's about his grandfather. Apparently his grandfather was murdered when he was young. And, his grandfather had quite a bit of influence on his life. So the book is about his grandfather and the things that his grandfather has taught him. Also his career with the NBA. And so, yeah, he was promoting the book. But they say that he had no idea. He said that he had just talked to the general manager the day before, and there was no talk about any trades. Now, of course, it comes with the job. And all basketball players, when something like this happens, they always say, well, it's just part of the business. You can't have any feelings because you are a part of a business. These people have to make the best decisions for their team. The bottom line is the red line. We got to see what, is and isn't work. All of that. Okay. But you could tell when he was on Good Morning America, I mean, he was just like, I ain't even had a chance to process this shit yet. Like I just got off the plane, and my son had to tell me, like, you got a sports agent and manager, you got all these people on your team. Ain't nobody knew. Your son had to tell you, and I'm assuming the son found out from like social media, So that's right there lets you know how quickly social media. There's nothing in this world that moves faster than social media. I could post something right here in seconds, millions, even I don't have millions of followers, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like millions of people can have access to that immediately. Okay. I just still thank God that social media was not a thing when I was like in my 20s, child. But yeah, he was, you could tell he was aggravated. But he just was like, I'm sure he had to get on that phone and have some conversations with some people, but there's really nothing you can do when the owners and when they say that you ain't working here no more, when we trading you, that's it, baby, it's time to go. So I mean, he's been in the business long enough to know that it's nothing personal, and pack your shit. So where do you guys think that Chris Paul will land? Okay, you guys think that, because they don't have anywhere to put him on the Lakers. I don't know what's going to happen. But anyway, y'all, I don't even know if the Lakers can afford him. But y'all let me know what you think. But yeah, Chris Paul, it's a wrap on that.
I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long.
And then lastly, you guys, did somebody say there is a fight, a nigga and a white? Remember we used to say that back in the day? In this case, it's actually two white guys could possibly be fighting, cage fighting, if you will. So apparently Meta, which is the owner of Facebook and Instagram, they have a new application that is going up. It's going to go up against Twitter. Okay, that is their main competition. You guys know Instagram will go up against everybody. Instagram went up against Snapchat. Remember when they started doing the live, and not the live, but the stories? And remember, we was just like, what is this bullshit? I don't even know if people still go on Snapchat. I mean, I guess some people do. I still see my app and it's active and all of that, but them stories did take off. Okay. So I guess they was like, hell, if the stories took off like that, let's try to figure out another application. And this one is going to be a standalone from Instagram. So it's not going to be connected to Instagram. However, it will integrate with Instagram, which means that your followers that you have from Instagram will automatically populate over to this new app that they are trying to do the coding for now. They said that the coding for this new app started in January, and they're trying to get it to us as quickly as they can. Right now, it's tentatively called Threads. And, oh my God, it's so hot. I don't know why I don't just turn on the air. I don't feel like it, though. But, this is the last story, so it don't matter. It's tentatively called Threads, and, yeah, so it's happening. Apparently, Elon Musk, they say that he was just joking, but he said that if he could get a hold of Zuckerberg, that he would fight him in a cage fight, okay? And I guess he said it a little tongue-in-cheek or whatever. Well, honey, Zuckerberg was just like, send the location, and we can do this, all right? Now, nobody seems to know if Musk was really, really serious, but Zuckerberg, apparently they reached out to his team and they said, oh no, he's serious. He said he would fight Musk if he wants to. And so now the ball is in Musk's corner, and we're going to see, in his court, I should say, and we're going to see if he's going to really get into a fisticuffs with Zuckerberg. Okay. Now, I've never seen Zuckerberg. I've only seen pictures of him, but of course he looks like he's very skinny and scrawny, and Elon Musk is not, okay? Elon Musk actually says that he has this move that he had from back in the day when he wrestled, where it was called the walrus. He just lays on top of the person and they can't move. So I don't think that Elon Musk is all that serious, but, we'll see. But I will say that I think that if they do come up with this Threads thing, that I think it's going to do very, very well. I don't know if it will take over Twitter, but it will definitely be good competition for them. Okay? So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's coming soon. They said they already reached out to Oprah. She's going to be one of their first people to work on the app. I mean, to use the app. And the Dalai Lama. Okay? If we can get him to quit, tongue kissing the babies out there in India, then maybe we can get them to do a couple of threads over there on the new application too. All right. And that is that, you guys. Let me get off of here because I am about to fucking sweat to death.
I can't stay down too long. Look, running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes.
We do this every single week, so make sure that you thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back.
Stay down too long. Look, running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes.
Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.